Hey yo, just thought I'd put up another video. I know it's been probably over a month since I put a video up. At least I put one up here on YouTube. Um, this will kind of be about rescues in general, uh, concerning people that are not part of rescues, finding dogs, that sort of thing, strays, coming up to their house. Whatever the case may be, that they end up with a dog that's not theirs. Um, and they didn't get it from the pound. Um, it's kind of it should be real simple. Um, First thing you should think of if you see a stray dog on the side of the road, um, if you are even remotely thinking about taking the dog, first thing you need to realize is make sure you have a place to keep it and to keep it for indefinitely, really. Don't think that just because you pick it up, you're going to be able to find a rescue or find somebody to take it right that day, because it's not going to happen. You will get extremely lucky if it does. So the first thing, you see a stray, uh, wounded or not, make sure you have a place to keep it. Hold it till it can get to a rescue, till it can get to a home, whatever the case may be. Number two, make sure you got the money to care for it, because once you pick that dog up, you're not responsible for that dog. You need to get it looked at. You need to get it dog food, collar and a leash, and that's the absolute bare minimum. So make sure you got the funds to be able to do it. Don't just assume that you're going to be able to find it at home and get rid of it that same day. You may end up having to keep it for a week or two. Who knows, maybe longer than that before a rescue has room to take it. Three, be prepared for the long haul. A lot of people just assume because they picked the dog up and they saved it that they're going to find somebody, rescue somebody, that they're already convinced. They don't bother to think past the situation. Nowadays, with COVID, and pardon my French, all that other bullshit going on with the riots and protests and racism seeming to explode in this country, people aren't thinking real straight. Think with your brain and not your heart. That's probably the nicest way to put it. Everybody that's in rescue or kind of does it as a hobby on the side, everybody wants to save every single dog or animal. We'll just say animal. It's true. We all do. We all want to save every single animal we come across, whether it's hurt or not, whether we get it out of the pounds. We want to save them all. It's just in our nature to do that. The problem is we're thinking with emotion and thinking with our hearts and not thinking with our brains. The reason why I say that, and I don't mean to sound cold about it, you need to make sure you got a place to keep it. So like I said before, a couple minutes ago, and make sure you got the money to keep it. And you need to be prepared for the long haul. Rescues need time to get the dog networked. They need time to find a foster for it. If they don't have any open, and good chances are is they probably don't. Let alone even have a foster. I know there's 2 other rescues around here where we live, to include us. Can't get fosters. Stuck with 10, 12, 15, 20 dogs in their house. Be reasonable and be logical more than using your emotions. If we all acted on our emotions 100% of the time, we'd be in a world of trouble. And that includes anger, sadness, happy, all of them. You need to think when you see an animal in distress that you think needs saving. You have to go into that knowing that you could end up having a dog for a while. You need to have the money for it, take care of it. And like I said, the basics: food, water, collar, and a leash. And you have to have a place to keep it, especially if you got other dogs. They may not be as welcoming as you are with a new member to the house. Just use your brains more than your heart when you start looking at them. I know everybody feels sorry for the animals. They don't like situations they're in. But you got to use your brains over your heart, because if you don't, you're going to wind up in a bind. You're going to end up having a lot more animals than what you can take care for, and now you just put the animal in a worse situation than what it was. If the animal can stay where it's at till a rescue can be found, that's probably the best option. Sometimes, depending on where you live, shelter may be the best option. Around here, shelter is not the best option. They will kill them for space, and they're just going to get rid of them and go pick up the next dog. So don't think that you want a dog and you're going to tell somebody to go take it to the pound so you can get it. You need to get it. The 2 pounds that I live close to, they will euthanize dogs, and they will euthanize them for space and have no regrets in doing it. If they're surrenders, they're going to go quick. So be very mindful when you tell somebody take it to the pound, especially if you have a rescue. Explore other options first. See if maybe the person can hold it till you can find a rescue. Or somebody willing to foster until a rescue comes around. That's happened before too. But so many people are picking up all these stray dogs, and they're begging rescues to take them, and rescues don't have the room. Rescues are probably more overcrowded than what the shelters are. It shouldn't be like that. Shelters shouldn't be like that either. But they are. We should be working together. The shelters ought to be educating the public. Proper care. Options if they can't keep the animal. Maybe just a handful of contacts. One for dogs, cats, livestock. Give them options. The only option that the pound shouldn't be the only option. And it seems like that's all people have. Or they think they have. They don't want to do the legwork to try and find a better place. But they don't want to do the legwork on anything, really. They want the easy way out so they ain't got to worry about it. Well, to those people, I hope they have a conscience. And I hope it eats at them every time, knowing that in a lot of places, less than 24 hours, the owner surrenders dead. So keep that in mind when you surrender your animal to the pound. I'm just going to keep this one short. So if you are finding strays, whether you're going out looking for them, or you pass them on the way to work, store, driving down the road, one, make sure you got a place to put that animal indefinitely. Two, make sure you got the money to take care of that animal until it can get into a better situation. Three, probably one of the bigger ones, because if you do this, the rest of it's going to fall in. Use your brains. It's one thing to feel sorry for an animal, and there's lots of them that I feel sorry for. But I do know that if I bring them into my situation, that it's not the best situation. Don't be hasty. think about it. Now, if you're going to take the animal, take it. Don't let it go to the pound first, because anything could happen at the pound. Somebody could scare it, and a dog could scare it. It could react in a very negative way, and they're just going to go ahead and put it down due to no fault of the dog. So just use your heads. I get messages all the time, as well as, you know, the same as other rescues do, and other individuals that cross post. If you're out there and you're finding strays, think before you act, and then really think hard before you act. Don't assume that the rescue can take it as soon as you pick it up, because you're probably going to end up getting your feelings hurt. Now you're stuck with the dog, and you're going to think that the rescue's being cold-hearted and don't want to save the animal. It's not the case. The rescue just knows that bringing that animal into their custody, I guess, may not be the best thing for it at that time. So think long and hard. Everybody wants to help everybody. Here's the problem with that. People need to start helping themselves. They need to start doing a little bit of the legwork. There's lots of dogs that I haven't shared from people. When all I've asked them to do is make a post, tag me in it, or I'll go to your page and I'll share it, and that's the best I can do right now. Most of the time, you don't even see a post on it. Dog ends up at the pound. So people can make a sob story to you all they want to. I don't trust people when it comes to animals and their stories. That's just me. I've been lied to straight to my face several times, and I've been lied to by people within rescue about dogs. So make the current owner at least put forth a little bit of effort in helping you help that dog get into a better situation. So, you know, just keep that in mind. It was just something that was, I had a situation first thing this morning like that. And to be honest with you, it really fucking pissed me off, pardon my French. Because it was assumed that I would be able to rush right down and go get a dog out of a pound. It's not always the case, especially if it's not a pound that I normally work with, and this one wasn't. So you're looking at probably a day, get paperwork together, take it down there, have them verify it, and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's not an in and out deal. Just keep that in mind. Your emergency or your bad decisions don't make it an emergency for me. Right now, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 fosters in our house, along with our 10 personals. We're fixing to get 4 more tomorrow. It's a lot of dogs. Jimmy takes care of those the majority of the time. I'm trying to get dogs out of the south so the rescues down here can get them out of the kennels, out of the pounds. Use your heads when you start seeing all these dogs out, because I can promise you, you go above Tennessee, you're not going to see an animal out. Gabe and I come back yesterday, drove approximately 400 miles, and we saw 2 dogs in the yard. Saw 2 dogs. So, big difference between up there and down here. Use your heads. Don't assume. Think before you act. And make the current owner help you. You shouldn't have to do all the work, whether you're a rescue or individual. So, keep that in mind. Don't assume that a rescue can take it right then. Chances are slim, especially if they're small. Most of the ones in my area are small. and we're overloaded now. So use your brains and don't think with your heart. It's tough for a lot of people. We want to save them all. We can't. We try to get to the ones that really need us. And I'm not saying that the other ones don't matter, because they do. I do believe that every dog deserves a chance, no matter what the situation is. It's a matter of finding the right person to deal with that animal. So, if you're out there stray hunting, or just wanting to help every one of your neighbors with their dogs, be prepared to keep those dogs. Be prepared to fork out some money of your own. And more importantly, you need to have a place to keep them. So if y'all just keep that in mind before y'all start snatching up dogs and telling people, oh yeah, we'll help you, we'll take the dog, we'll get it here, we'll get it there, whatever. I hope getting it here and there is your house. Like I said, rescues are full, pounds are full, pounds are killing them. They do everywhere in the state. Problem with it, it's a political issue. It's not a animal issue. So keep those things in mind. Things will be a lot easier. Things don't happen, in the next 20 minutes. We all know that. So just do that. You'll be helping us. You'll be helping the dog. And hopefully the owner will have a good taste in his mouth when he realizes that between you and him, you've done everything you can, and it becomes a happy ending. The dog gets to a better situation, whether that's a rescue or not. Just keep that in mind. Don't assume. Think with your brain and not your heart, and make sure you got a place to keep it, because that's what's going to end up happening if everybody's full. We're running them out up north just as fast as we can. So I'm not the only one that's doing it. There's lots and lots of runs going up north with dogs from here. There's no way that we can get ahead of it. So just remember that when you see stray dogs or your neighbor comes up to you and wants help. I'm sure they do want help, and it could be legit. But you need to make them understand that it's not going to happen overnight. In most cases, it's not going to happen overnight. So keep that in mind. Don't assume. Just make sure you ready for the long haul, because a lot of times that's what happens. So y'all have a good night. Take care. Thank y'all for the support, and we appreciate it. Thank y'all.